What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Imperfect Empath. I am Stephanie Johnson, a licensed professional counselor associate, as well as a licensed professional school counselor. And I have a few minutes before my lunch duty, and I wanted to talk about burnout. Let's talk about burnout real quick. There are stages to burnout. Let me backtrack. The reason why I'm wanting to talk about burnout is because for those of you not in the education world, we are in the home stretch of the school year, and burnout is huge these last few months of school. We just came out of spring break. For the most part, everybody was able to come back in one piece, feeling somewhat revived and energized, but we're done. We don't have any more breaks. We're out. I think we have, let me take that back. We have one more break Friday. We have a 3-day weekend. But after that, we're straight. Pow, 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 pow. And it's testing season. And it's data collection season. I mean, we've been collecting data, but I mean, like, now we're really trying to lock these numbers in. So at the end of the year, when we have to report all of this to the district, you know what I mean? Like, stress is high. And not just for the adults. Trust me, the kids are feeling it too. This time of the year, my referrals go up between end of March into early May. Referrals through the roof. So burnout, let's talk about it. What is burnout? Okay. So burnout can be described as a workplace phenomenon characterized by feelings of exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced efficacy. In addition to emotional exhaustion, it also involves a sense of reduced accomplishment and loss of personal identity. I resonate with that completely. All right. Stages of burnout. Yes, there are levels to this. There's the honeymoon phase. That's when we all come back from summer break and we all feel really good about ourselves. And we feel revived, renewed, refreshed, ready to start, ready to get this thing going. Then after the honeymoon phase, there is the onset of stress. Why am I whispering? I don't know, but I'm gonna just stay with that. The onset of stress. That's usually when the kids are back and you realize that this crop of kids is not the same as the crop of kids you had a couple years ago. Yes. Starting to feel the anxiety, having some difficult days. After that, there's chronic stress. That's when the anger sets in. Anger with yourself, with the kids, with the system, everything. You're no longer engaging in all the really cool, fun stuff you were doing over the summer. So yeah, probably angry about that too. After chronic stress, there's burnout. That's when you're seeing the social isolation, the behavioral changes, and the physical symptoms are exponential. I mean, you have headaches, migraines, stomach aches, all the aches. You're fatigued. You're just tired, cranky too. Not done yet. After burnout, there's habitual burnout. Now, this is bad because at this point, you're probably in a depressive mood and your physical manifestations are even stronger. You might even find yourself going to the doctor at this point, going to the emergency room, or possibly even seeking out mental health counseling. If you're not, you should. In addition to burnout, there's a thing called compassion fatigue. And compassion fatigue is interesting because it's a combination of burnout and secondary trauma. We're educators and we experience secondary trauma through our students. When they come to us and they share with us, that is secondary trauma. I will be the first to tell you, this year I have experienced more secondary trauma than I have probably experienced in my entire career in education. This is my 10th year in education. And this year was, I mean, it really took the cake. So I'll be the first one to admit that I am experiencing compassion fatigue right now, real time. What is compassion fatigue? The deep physical, emotional, and spiritual exhaustion that can result from working day to day in an intense caregiving environment. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. So, physical symptoms include headache, fatigue, weakened immune system, getting sick all the time now. Emotional symptoms include anxiety, depression, feeling helpless, powerless. Behavioral changes include irritability, changes in appetite, sleep, being easily startled. Spiritual symptoms, loss of purpose and meaning, questioning everything in the world. Cognitively, diminished concentration, inattention, ruminating thoughts, unwanted thoughts. Relational symptoms, being withdrawn, feeling isolated from friends, from family. Mistrust is prevalent as well. So why am I saying all this? Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, if you follow these 10 steps, you can prevent burnout. No. The truth is that at some point we are all going to experience burnout and or compassion fatigue. It's what you do once you recognize that you're in that space. So yes, I definitely encourage preemptive action, but in case that doesn't work, one of the things that has been really helpful for me has been setting boundaries. And if you haven't read Nedra Glover's book on setting boundaries, I highly recommend it. It's a great place to start. And she talks about not just setting boundaries with other people, but setting boundaries with yourself. Because if you cannot set boundaries and honor those boundaries with yourself, how do you expect other people to do it as well? So setting boundaries as a form of self-care. I know I need to get X amount of hours of sleep in order to feel functional in the morning. Like I am a 8-hour sleeper, 7 hours minimum. And if I know that about myself, but I stay up on social media watching TV, and then I can't wake up in the morning, or I do wake up and I'm a grouch, that's on me. I did not honor my own boundary, which was to get to bed on time so I can be a functioning human being in the morning. Drinking alcohol during the week used to be an issue for me. I don't do that anymore. As a matter of fact, I am 4 months sober. Yeah, I'm proud of that. It was a boundary I had to set for myself because doing so was adding to my physical symptoms and my cognitive decline. Foggy thoughts, not being able to remember things. It's messing up my stomach too, real bad. But this is just an example of, boundaries, how I'm using boundaries for myself to help pull myself out of this compassion fatigue that I'm experiencing. I have had to make some major adjustments, in addition to sobriety, in addition to, getting enough sleep, getting enough food, hydration. And that's the other thing too. When it comes to caring for yourself, self-care, wellness, we definitely think in terms of, consumerism. Oh, let me go to the mall. Let me shop. Let me, treat myself to a really nice meal. There's nothing wrong with those things. But I want us to think Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basic. Eating, sleeping, resting. Without those things, you cannot function. I don't care what they tell you. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Okay, if you don't sleep, you will be dead. I want to sleep in my bed, not in a coffin. Yeah, paying attention to your body and what your body is doing. Don't ignore those aches and those pains and say, oh, I'm just getting older. You know, it happens. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and your ankle swole and you don't even know why. Your ankle wasn't swole before bed. It's swole now. Pay attention to that. That is important. What else? Yeah, setting boundaries, paying attention to your body, getting support. We don't function in a vacuum. We need community. We need connection. We need people. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, but you need people. Who are like your 3 people? Maybe you don't have 3, maybe you just got 2. Who are your 2 people that are in your inner circle that you would trust with your life? Reach out to them. And not in a, like, I'm not saying dump on people, because that's what's therapy. That is what therapy is for. But just reach out and just let it be known that you are struggling. Educators, don't be afraid to let your administrators know that you are struggling. Now, I'll be honest, not all administrators are created equal. I have shared with my administrators when I have been in moments of struggle. I have. And they have been responsive. Now, me going to them does not mean that it is now their responsibility to set boundaries for me and create a safe space for me to, you know, pull myself out of the sunken place, right? Like, that's not their responsibility. It's still my responsibility to, again, set those boundaries and create my own safe space. They'll do what they can, but it's not on them. The onus is on you. I want us to be responsible for ourselves and our own wellness and not blame the system anymore. I'm done blaming the system. I'm done blaming people around me. It's on you. It's on me. It's on each other. But I just wanted to share that real quick because, again, it's that time of the year and things are tough right now. And we can do it. We can make it. We can pull ourselves out. It will take time. It does take practice. It does take discipline. It does take that good friend calling you and saying, girl, go to bed. Again, it's not their responsibility to do that. But I know I personally have some friends who will be like, girl, we need to get off this phone. We've been on this phone for like 2 hours. We need to go to bed. We know we got to get up in the morning. And I love that. I love that I have friends that are like that. Okay, I got to go to lunch duty. But I hope you all have a great day. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.